Hi, I'm Anshu from Healthify Me, and today we're going to talk about a very important subject food. Food sustains us, it energizes us, and it also entertains us. In this day of gastronomic delights, when there's so many restaurants to choose from and so many different cuisines, we also faced with this dilemma about whether we should eat out or eat in. So we have here with us a subject matter expert in yoga, Chaitanya, who's going to talk about a yogic diet. This is a completely different subject and very interesting for all of us. So Chaitanya, what is a yogic diet?
Thank you, Anshu. When we talk about yogic diet, it basically means the diet which is conducive to our yoga practice and spiritual progress.
Okay, so what you're saying is this a diet which can enhance my practice of yoga?
Definitely, it does. Because in Ayurveda or yoga philosophy, the food has been categorized into three types.
All right.
So that categorization depends on the attribute, the qualities that attributes into our body after consumption.
All right.
So basically, there are Sattvic food.
All right.
The first one is the Sattvic food. The
Yeah.
second one is the Rajasic. The third
Alright.
is Tamasic.
Okay, so three types of food.
Yeah.
All right, that's how it's been classified in
That's right.
Ayurveda. So, what is sattvic food?
So Sattvic food is essentially it's a freshly prepared food, freshly cooked food, made
Okay.
from vegetables, rice, or
Alright.
something like that.
Okay.
So the Sattvic food, whichever food that increases our vibrance, which increases our efficiency, I would say,
Alright.
that those are Sattvic foods.
So, would salads and fruit also fall into
Yes,
that?
it does. It does.
Okay. Also, yogurt.
No, yogurt will be considered based on the type of constitution of a body. Yogurt will be considered as a tamasic food.
Okay. And what exactly is tamasic food?
So tamasic food which induces dullness or which induces lethargy, those are tamasic food.
Okay.
Basically, these are not so freshly prepared food,
All right. Okay.
any preheated or any packaged foods can be
Alright.
considered as tamasic food.
Okay, like processed.
The processed food.
Processed
yeah.
food is
That
all
would be
tamasic
correct.
food.
Yeah.
And the third one you mentioned was rajasic food.
Yes, the second, the rajasic food. So these are the types of food that increases our activity levels.
Okay.
These can be anything that is deep fried,
All
that
right.
contains a lot of oil or greasy, like these
Okay.
kind. Yeah.
All right. And what about you said hyperactivity? So would alcohol or coffee
True.
also fall into that?
Yes, it does. They are basically
Okay.
stimulants, which increases the rajasic quality in the body.
All right. So that's more to do with enjoyment and less to do with sustaining.
True.
And okay.
So
All right.
when we are talking about food, we also consider our body's constitution also
All right.
into the scene, into the picture. Our body is basically made up of three doshas.
All right.
One is vata,
Yeah.
the second one is pitta, the kapha. So based on the composition, based on the combination of the three doshas, the food can be had.
Okay.
The food always depends on this kind of three doshas.
Okay. So would you say that people's personalities are also judged in Ayurveda according to the diet that they've been having?
True.
Okay.
So, yeah, when we talk about the qualities of a person, the personality, it always depends on the three doshas and the type
Alright.
of food he has.
Okay. Can you explain that some more? That's very interesting.
Well, so when a person is when we talk about the qualities of person,
Yeah.
it can be vata, pitta, and kapha, as we said. So it is always in the combination. It is not a person doesn't have pure personality.
Oh,
So
okay.
it is always a combination of vata, pitta, or kapha, or any combination. Any two combination.
Any two. Okay. All right.
So, if, for an example, if we consider a kapha type of person, normally these kind of persons will be a little bit bulkier,
All right.
and the vata type of persons, they are lean,
All right.
and they tend to have small portions of meal, and they tend to have
Oh,
good digestive powers.
all right. Okay. And I was also reading somewhere about like if a person has a certain kind of food and tries to change it, and then what are the effects that can be seen in a person?
So normally, what the current trend is like to have a variety of foods every day. So now if we are doing this pattern, if we follow this pattern, our
Yeah.
body is constantly being hammered. If we give a different kind of shock, our body's intelligence has to process digestive
Alright.
enzymes according to the food we had. So
Okay.
again, we are using a lot of energy. A lot of
Yeah.
prana shakti has to be utilized in order to process the food, in order to digest and assimilate it.
Okay.
So basically, it is not recommended to have such kind of difference in foods.
Okay. But I think more or less most of us are now, into having different cuisines, and we like a change. At least over weekends, we like to go out and try different kind of food. And what do you say about that?
So once in a while, it is okay, but
Okay.
it is always good to stick to a staple diet.
All right.
So when we are talking about, or when we are following a particular diet, we should always follow these three simple rules. According to Ayurveda philosophy, one is called Hita book.
Okay.
The second one is called Mita book. The third one is Rutu book.
All right.
So when we are talking about Mita book, it means the proportion of the food, the quantity of the food one should have.
Okay.
So if we consider our stomach into 4 parts,
Yeah.
2 halves should be filled with solid food,
All right.
1 half should be with liquid, and the other quarter should be left empty. This is Mita
Very
book.
interesting.
Mita book, in the sense we are controlling the proportion.
Okay.
We're having in a proper proportion. And the
Okay.
second one is Mita book. Oh, sorry, we called Mita book.
Yeah.
Next thing is a Hita book.
Hita
book is in the sense the food should be favorable to us. The food
Right.
which pleases us. When we have that food, we have that sense of sense of lightness or sense of satisfaction. That gives any satisfaction is Hita book.
Okay.
And Rutu book, which is very important, the food should be according to the season, according to the geography.
All right.
So we normally have the food which is locally grown
Yeah.
and freshly prepared.
All right.
And freshly, for example, if I consider pomegranates, they are very rich in antioxidants. But a person should consume the pomegranates which are locally grown to him, not the imported ones.
Oh, okay. Oh, so what you're saying is that we should stick to regionalism in food and try to source the food that is grown locally and in that particular climate or weather.
In simple words, I can tell you that a food should be had. The food what our ancestors used to have.
Yeah.
If you follow to have such kind of food, your body has more capacity to digest it and assimilate it in the body.
Okay. So I was also reading about this 7 generations of food that your DNA recognizes.
Correct.
What is that?
So usually when we talk about the digestive capacity or any trait or even the personality trait, it comes from our genes, it comes from our ancestors from the past 7 generations.
Oh.
So over the generations, we have we have developed a capacity to digest certain kind of foods and not to digest certain kind of food.
All right. Okay.
So whenever we have food, it should be the same locally grown food and whatever we discussed in the earlier.
Yeah.
So these kind of food which are easy to digest.
Okay.
And doesn't require most of their energy, prana shakti, as I said in the beginning.
All right. Okay. Let's also talk about vegetarian food and non-vegetarian food. What do you think about that? Because everyone wants to know, and almost everyone is a foodie out here.
So there is no such thing as when we talk about vegetarian and yoga, there is no such thing as one should leave non-vegetarianism or nothing like that.
Yeah.
You can have non-vegetarian food at all.
Okay.
But again, the meat has been categorized into different types.
Okay.
And unlike the Western categorization, like red or white or fish, in Ayurveda and yoga philosophy, the meat is considered as different. They are categorized based on the qualities that is going to attribute to a person who has consumed it.
Okay. All right. So what you're saying is meat is good because, and anyway, we all know that it's protein, and vegetarians can get their protein from plant sources or from dairy, and even nuts maybe. So, and you're saying that meat is also good. It's a very good source of protein. So
when we are talking about non-vegetarianism, as I said in the beginning, we are always having food what our ancestors used to have. So if you consider like that, if you have. And this also, having non-vegetarian also depends on the kind of profession you're into. If your work demands a lot of physical activity, So
Okay.
then you need to have meat that will replenish the tissues
Yeah.
and it suffices your energy requirements.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what you mean to say is people who go to the gym a lot, work out a lot, can also have,
Right.
be more focused about their protein.
Right.
Where is it coming from? Whether it's from vegetarian sources or non-vegetarian sources.
Right.
But protein is important.
Protein is
and it's
important.
also important for growth.
Right.
For children. Okay. All right. So, can a non-vegetarian person enhance his diet by adding some more, things to it, and having more of something else as well, apart from focusing on just non-vegetarian food?
So when we talk about a non-vegetarian, a person who is a non-vegetarian, he doesn't consume all this non. It also includes vegetables also, right?
All right.
So it's not necessarily completely non-vegetarian food.
Right. And it should not be, is
Yeah,
what
it
you're
should
saying.
not be.
But there are some people out there who only like to choose the non-veg and, ignore the vegetarian stuff. Like they don't have vegetables so
Meat
much.
has to be balanced.
It has to be balanced, correct. All right. Great. So we have discussed about Sattvic, Tamasic, and Rajasic food, and also about the doshas. And what is a good balanced meal? Like, what is something that we can all have from morning to evening, which is obviously a yogic diet, which enhances our practice of yoga or workout. So, can you just define that meal?
So when we are having when we say about a balanced meal, it is about the design of our thali. So a thali should contain well cooked rice
All right.
and a protein source. It can be dal or a piece of meat, and also a few salads
All right.
and a few vegetables and a papadam, like that.
Okay.
So this will as a South Indian, we used to have like this kind of food. So it also depends. It also changes on the region. So when we are talking about the balanced food, it should contain all the 6 tastes. That is called shadruchis.
All right. Oh, okay.
So that will enhance our. When we look at our food, our mind processes enzymes that are required for the digestion. So
Okay.
we should always take a moment of silence or express gratitude before having food. So it is
Okay.
always a good idea to have food in silence.
All right. And pray before you
That is a
have the
much
food.
more better idea.
All right. So that's very interesting. So you mentioned about the 6 different tastes in a plate. So that's let's go over those. So that's obviously salt
Salt.
and plain
Plain,
and maybe bitter,
yeah, bitter.
sour, and what are the other two? Spicy.
So when we talk about 6 tastes, so those are sweet, sour, salty, bitter, pungent, and astringent.
Okay. Wow. So you're saying all these 6 tastes must be in your food,
Right.
in your major meal that you're having. Could be lunch or dinner.
Yes. Yes.
All right. So because why do we need these 6 tastes?
So because it's the combination, our body is made of Panchamahabhutas. So the food, what we take, what we derive, is also made of Panchamahabhutas. So these are the combination that our body accepts.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. And I've noticed that at times we have a craving for a certain taste. And maybe because we've ignored it in the last couple of days, so we have a craving for that particular taste. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So, Chaitanya, can you also tell us what are the do's and don'ts for a yogic diet?
Right. So when you're practicing yoga, especially the asanas, pranayama, or meditation, tamasic foods and rajasic foods should be avoided. They're
right.
basically yogurt or any fruit like jackfruit, pineapple. These kind of food should also be avoided. That makes you heavy,
Okay.
or even bananas for the matter.
Okay. All right. So we can't completely avoid them because maybe we can have less of and more of.
Yes.
All right.
Again, this is as I said in the beginning, it is a combination of the 3 doshas.
All right.
So based on the dosha, you should avoid a food or you should consume a food.
Okay. All right. Great. So that made for a very interesting discussion today on yogic diet, Chaitanya. And from Healthify Me, we can help you with a yogic diet, or we can help you with your normal diet, which is a diet for weight loss. It could also be a diet for diabetes or any specific medical condition. Also can also be for weight gain for that matter. And we can help you with yoga in terms of yogasanas and pranayam. So it is a complete mixture of everything put together that leads to a healthy mind and body. That's food, nutrition, and working out. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anshu.